Jessica Williams was the epitome of success. Elegant, brilliant, and born into one of Detroit's most influential black families. At a prestigious gala, she met Stephen Daniels, a confident magnetic architect who seemed refreshingly genuine. He wasn't intimidated by her status. He made her feel seen, not as a Williams, but as Jessica. They fell fast. Despite subtle warnings from her family and best friend Angela, Jessica believed in Stephen. He proposed within a year. The wedding was opulent, held in her family's estate garden. But the signs of imbalance were already there. Stephen insisted on controlling the guest list, clashed with her over details, and accused her of being too controlling. Their honeymoon in Paris was picture perfect, until it wasn't. Stephen began making small biting comments. Her dress was a bit much, her tone too aggressive. At first, Jessica brushed it off. But these jabs multiplied. Back home, Stephen took control of their finances and subtly distanced her from friends and family. He called her career unnecessary stress, and treated her work as trivial. Every disagreement was twisted to make her feel guilty, ungrateful, or too ambitious. Jessica started to feel like a stranger in her own life. The final blow came during a high-end dinner where she calmly suggested Stephen pay the bill. His mask cracked, and in front of a stunned crowd, he hurled a dessert in her face. Jessica didn't cry. She stood up, wiped her face, and said the words that would change everything. "This is over." Jessica left the restaurant humiliated but empowered. That night, she returned to her parents' home, not her penthouse. Her mother welcomed her in silence. Her father simply held her. For the first time in years, Jessica let herself fall apart. The next morning, they introduced her to Monica Grant, a sharp divorce attorney who specialized in financial abuse. With her help, Jessica began building her case. Collecting bank statements, gathering evidence of emotional manipulation, and documenting every red flag she had ignored. Meanwhile, Stephen launched a smear campaign. He posted online about letting go for love, and whispered lies to mutual friends, painting Jessica as a selfish career woman who abandoned him. Some believed him. Others stayed quiet. Jessica said nothing. She had more important things to do. Angela remained her rock. One night, over wine, Jessica confessed, "I used to think love meant compromise. But I was the only one compromising." At Monica's advice, Jessica filed formal claims for financial misconduct. That lit a fire under Stephen. He began texting her again, threats disguised as regret. She blocked him, forwarded the messages to Monica, and kept moving forward. She also started speaking. Quietly, at first, at community panels and women's groups. Sharing her story wasn't just healing. It was empowering others. One woman said, "You just told my story." And Jessica realized, she wasn't alone. Then one night, a box appeared on her doorstep. Inside, her dried wedding bouquet. A card. "You'll regret this." She didn't panic. She took it to the backyard, lit a match, and watched it burn. This wasn't a breakdown. It was the beginning of something new. Jessica stood in Monica Grant's office, her voice steady but cold. "He threatened me. Again." She described the dried bouquet, the card. "You'll regret this." Monica didn't flinch. "We escalate," she said. "Now it's more than divorce. We go after him, financially, legally, and publicly." Within days, Monica's team filed a formal complaint citing financial misconduct and emotional coercion. Evidence included forged contracts, unauthorized transfers, and messages showing manipulation. The case wasn't just strong. It was devastating. Stephen, cornered, retaliated fast. He sent Jessica a barrage of texts. "You think you're strong because you have money? Don't forget who helped you when no one else would." She didn't answer. She documented every word. Then came the smear campaign 2.0. Stephen painted himself as the real victim, telling anyone who'd listen that Jessica was cold, calculating, and using her privilege to destroy him. Gossip spread. A few people at work looked at her differently. But this time, Jessica didn't hide. She stood firm. gave a TED-style talk at a local women's shelter, spoke on a podcast about power and gaslighting. And for the first time, she used his name. I was married to a man who couldn't stand that I succeeded without him. Angela cheered her on. Her parents stood behind her. And Monica? She smiled and said, "Now he knows you're not afraid." One rainy night, Jessica received a call from a blocked number. It was Stefan. "Meet me," he said. "One last time. You owe me that." Against Monica's advice, Jessica agreed, in public, during daylight, at a busy cafe. Stefan looked polished as always, but tension rippled under his charm. "You ruined me," he hissed. Jessica didn't blink. "No. You ruined yourself." When he threatened to expose her, she laughed softly. "You already tried," she said. "And I'm still standing." She got up, left him at the table, and didn't look back. The courthouse stood like a fortress, stone, glass, and silence. Jessica walked in flanked by her parents, wearing a deep navy suit and quiet resolve. This was it, the first day of the divorce hearing. Inside, Stefan sat with his lawyer, oozing rehearsed composure. But Jessica saw it, the twitch in his jaw, the flicker in his eyes. He was nervous. Monica opened strong. Documented financial theft, controlling behavior, emotional isolation. She laid it out with clinical precision, ending with photos and transaction logs Stefan hadn't expected anyone to find. When it was Stefan's turn, he played victim. "She abandoned me, put her career first, made me feel worthless." Jessica stayed silent. Until it was her time. She took the stand and told the truth. Not in rage but in clarity. "He chipped away at me. Quietly. Daily. I stopped recognizing myself." She described the comments, the control, the loneliness. She recounted the restaurant scene, the bouquet, the final threats. The courtroom was still. Even the judge leaned in. "I loved him," she said. "But I love myself more now. And I won't go back to who I was just to make someone else feel big." As she stepped down, she felt something inside her click back into place. Something he'd tried to take. Days later, the ruling came. Jessica kept all of her assets. Stefan was ordered to repay thousands in misused funds. And a formal note of emotional abuse was entered into court record. Outside, her parents embraced her. "You did it," Camille whispered. "No," Jessica replied. "We did." Back at home that night, she stood on her balcony, the city lights stretching before her like open road. She didn't feel broken. She felt ready. Jessica didn't celebrate with champagne. She celebrated with silence. In the quiet of her childhood bedroom, she sat by the window, watching rain trail down the glass. The court ruling was done. Stefan had lost. But this wasn't victory. It was recovery. And recovery was slow. She returned to work, quietly at first. Her office greeted her with polite smiles, cautious eyes. But her numbers spoke louder. In just 2 weeks, she closed 2 major deals and revived a stalled sustainability initiative. Her confidence returned, step by step. Angela became her shadow again. Brunches, long walks, midnight FaceTimes. "You're glowing, Jess," she said one morning. "I haven't seen you like this since." Before him. Jessica smiled. "I forgot who I was. But I'm remembering now." One afternoon, Monica called. "We received a formal apology from one of Stefan's ex-business partners. He admitted Stefan lied. Used your name to seal deals. It's in writing." Jessica paused. "That's for the file," she said. "But I don't need his apology. I just need space to grow." And grow she did. With her parents' support, Jessica launched a small foundation. One focused on helping women reclaim their identity after financial and emotional abuse. At first, it was just a website and a helpline. But the stories started pouring in. "I read your story online," one woman wrote. "I thought I was the only one." Jessica replied to every message personally. She wasn't a victim anymore. She was a voice. On a warm Sunday evening, her parents hosted a backyard dinner. Nothing fancy. Just ribs, music, laughter and love. Camille hugged her tight before dessert. "You're not just healing, Jessie. You're leading." And for the first time in a long time, Jessica didn't feel heavy. She felt light.